What's up guys, I'm Phoenix Master 1 and welcome to another episode of Finessing Your Formas. So we're gonna be ending off this year with the Tokyo Mirage Session Hall of Forms featuring Tsubasa, Eleonora, Kiria, and Mamori. This is gonna be a Forma buying guide, so if you're interested in getting any of these Forma units, I'm gonna be going over what skills you should try to aim to get and what purpose they serve, because it's extremely important to get the bang for your buck when you're purchasing a unit. Forma souls might not be free, but subscribing if you do enjoy these videos is definitely free, so be sure to do that. I'm very close to 340,000 subscribers, and with that said, let us begin. So I'll quickly go over some of the rules. So Forma units, when you purchase them, they will always have neutral IVs. However, you could change their IVs with the trade fruit. Forma unit will come with all of their base skills and the preferred weapon, so you don't really need to go after those skills. You need to get premium weapons and premium skills, which are super rare and otherwise will be really hard for you to get. You also cannot merge your Forma unit into existing units. However, existing units can be merged into the Forma unit, and you have to go for very premium 5-star locked skills. Don't really go for synergetic 3-star 4-star skills because you could easily inherit them later on. And for assists, you should always go for the Rally Plus skills and Harsh Command because that's premium. And for specials, Ruptured Sky and Blue Flame are going to be the options. Keep in mind, whenever you get a Forma unit, they are going to be coming at 0 merges. So don't think you're going to be getting a plus 10 merge unit. Also, you cannot really fodder off your Forma unit to another unit. So that's not how it's going to be working. Now let us begin with Tsubasa. So Tsubasa, in my opinion, is one of the best lance flyers, if not the best lance flyer in the entire game. Her Mirage Feather has got dual effectiveness against cavalry units and armor units, while also having a conditional desperation, which is just so easy to activate. You just need an ally to act before her, and that's it. Boom, she's got desperation and +6 attack and speed, which is absolutely incredible and frees up her slot B skill. Tsubasa's base kit isn't really all that impressive, so she definitely likes the overhaul with the premium skills. So, in my opinion, the weapon is gonna be its Curdance Plus, which is gonna be the best premium lance which you could get, and it actually has some usage over Mirage Feather if you want to have like a one-tap Gale Force build. So I would definitely suggest that if you could try to get it. And the first build, in my opinion, is the perfect combination of skills which you could go for, because Mirage Feather has got Desperation built into it, so it frees up her slot B skill. Flyers don't really have too many good slot B skills. However, Tsubasa can run Pegasus Flight because of her high speed and workable resistance. And because we have got Phantom Resistance, she can actually make use of Pegasus Flight so well. So Pegasus Flight does appreciate the visible stats from Fury 4, and for slot C, Speed Defense Rain is gonna be absolutely the best option you could go for. So the first build is really the best case scenario. However, if you want to have some other options, then you could also go with Mystic Boost. Again, flyers don't really have too many options, so that could be paired up with Attack Speed Push 4. And if you don't want to run Speed Defense Rain or you're not able to get it, then Ground Orders is also a pretty decent skill. Life and Death 4 also works out because she's mainly a player phase unit with a conditional desperation, but keep in mind the extra stats are going to be making you more susceptible to Bright Shrines and chill attack speed. So Sparrow 3 is also another option, and Aerobatics is still a 5-star locked skill, so that is certainly an option you could go for slot B. She has like 3 options basically for slot B. And the Heavy Blade 4 and Attack Speed Rain build is actually really good if you already have a bit of merges on Tsubasa, or you're going to be aiming for a one-tap Gale Force build. So this could be a really good option if you want to have a Gale Force build with her. And Attack Speed Solo, while it's not the best one, it's still an option if you're not able to get the other slot A options which can increase her offenses. The next unit we have is Kiria. Kiria is also one of the best red mages in the entire game. She is deceptively bulky because of Mirage Rod, giving her -6 attack and resistance debuff on the foe within 2 spaces of her, which also helps her allies. And she can be so bulky because she can stack it up with lull attack resistance. So that slot B skill of her base kit is definitely the ideal one, but still we could try for some alternate options. She is just gonna be hitting very hard, and she's also very bulky on both spectrums. The only thing is that she cannot have an auto double similar to Fallen Julia, but that's basically it, and she's an incredibly powerful unit. So we could replace Attack Res Solo with something like Attack Res Push 4, which doesn't really require her to be solo, and is definitely a bit more flexible. Mystic Boost and Slot B is also an option, and Joint Drive Attack also helps you with the damage output and also supporting your allies. Now, as for her weapon, there are not really any kind of good weapons here when it comes to red inheritable tomes. So it's just the premium ones you want to pick, either the Serpent Tome or the Fox Tome. You're going to be using Mirage Rod as it is, so it's really up to you. Now, Kiria is a phenomenal unit in Ether 8's defense because of how bulky she could get. So she can also check Vantage units, check tanks because of her nuking potential, and just be a very solid unit. So if you want to use her in Ether 8's defense, then one of the impact skills is definitely the best way to go, either Sturdy Impact or Mere Impact. Sturdy Impact, in my opinion, is a bit better because the best Vantage sweepers are basically broadly fan sweepers, and also a lot of physical units are used as tanks, so that's the better option in my opinion. A Rue skill could also be used, and you could go with the Rally Up skill as well if you want to have that kind of rally trap. Time Pulse is also really good if you want to fit her in an Infantry Pulse team or even in a mixed team. And she also has potential in Ether 8's offense because she could be used as a one-off copy unit for counterpicking against certain teams. Because of Kiria's bulk, she could act as a check to range units, and you could run Mirror Stance 3 on her, have Null Counter Disrupt and Pulse Smoke. So this can definitely make her a pretty solid unit with that kind of counter pick build. And Unity skills are also something that you could go for. Sadly, Attack Res Unity is not going to be in this Hall of Forms, so Attack Defense Unity is all you could get. Fortress Defense Res is also an option to just bolster her bulk. Special Spiral is also an option if you want to spam specials. Panic Smoke could be used with a bulky build like this, and it does have utility in Ether 8's defense, but personally I just prefer Time Pulse in slot C. And finally, if you do have some merges on Kiria already, then Close Foil build is really good as well. Even unmerged, you could make a decent use of this, honestly. So Close Foil or Close Counter are gonna be pretty good options. Then we move on to Eleonora. So Eleonora is one of the bow units which have a conditional fire sweep effect with their weapon. We did get Shamir recently, who is much powerful, but she is green color. But Eleonora is colorless, and her condition is much less strict in my opinion because she just needs to win a speed check, and that's it. She has got the fire sweep effect. Shamir needs to be alone, and that could be hard many times, especially as an infantry unit. So Eleonora does have attack speed push 4, which is a really good skill. Already has rally, attack speed plus, and ruse, but still there are definitely better options we could go for in those skill slots. So you want to aim for more premium bows basically as alternate options, because we do have some really good inheritable bows. Coral Bow, Budding Bow are really good options, and for special you want to go with Deadeye. That's the Archer exclusive special, and that can cut through the damage reduction skills, so she can make decent use of Deadeye, and it's just so unique, so you might as well get it. Definitely a premium skill. For slot A, you could go with Life and Death, and for slot B, lull speed defense is basically going to be the best one which you could pick. And Time Pulse allows Deadeye to be a 2-turn special, which is really good. So that's going to be a preferred slot C skill. Flashing Blade 4 could also be run with Time Pulse, and that could be pretty nice with Deadeye. Special Spiral is also an option, but just a fair warning that Special Spiral along with Time Pulse isn't going to make Deadeye a pre-charged special at the start of every turn. Time Pulse is basically here for the other builds and for setting up Deadeye to be activated by Special Spiral. If you do want to use her in Ether 8's defense, then Panic Smoke could be a pretty good option as well instead of going for Time Pulse. And Helm Bow is also another good inheritable option that you could go for. Just like Shamir, you could also have Null Follow Up in slot B. She does have pretty amazing speed for that and can definitely make really good use of it. So Null Follow Up is going to be a good option if you cannot get lull speed defense. And finally, we do have Spendthrift Bow. Ellie is a pretty decent user of that. She's not the best one, but Spendthrift Bow is such a good offensive and defensive bow, so it could be an option for just an alternate weapon. And Fury 4, while it's not really going to be giving you as much offenses as the other slotty skills, it's still an option, I guess, if you do want to make her a bit bulky. But honestly, I do prefer the other slotty skills like Life and Death 4, Flashing Blade, or even her default attack speed push 4. The final unit we have is Mamori. So Mamori is definitely going to be the least desirable unit for many people when it comes to getting her on a Forma Soul. Mainly because we have so much saturation when it comes to axe armors. We have got Brave Edelgard, who is pretty much the best axe armor. We also got Brave Ephraim with his Garm Weapon Refine, who can function similarly to Mamori by having an Omni Breaker effect if you run Weary Fighter with him, and he can also have healing with his Weapon Refine. So Mamori definitely has competition. Not really saying that she's a bad unit, far from it, but it's just that axe armors are pretty saturated in general, and she isn't really as unique as the other units from this banner in my personal opinion. So if you want to get some weapons on her, then there are not really too many good options. It's just basically the aesthetic one. If you want to have her wield a fan, a handbell, or like a carrot, it's up to you. And Blue Flame could be used as a special because she's an armor unit. They usually try to stick together. She has got pretty nice resistance, so this encounter is going to be the best slotty option that you could go for, because Mirage Axe does give you extra bulk and also stops the enemy's follow-up attacks. So Mamori is really good with this encounter, and Slick Fighter is basically a really good fighter skill for armor units with high stats, because they don't really care about debuffs at that point. And Threaten tier 4 skill is also a pretty good option for armor units. Now you could go with Special Fighter as well, if you want to retaliate back with a 2-turn special like Ruptured Sky or any other special really, and you could pair it up with Joint Drive Attack. If you want to use her in either its offense, which you could do that in the light season mainly because she can stop follow-up attacks from stuff like Bramimond, so you could give her Slick Fighter so that she doesn't really care about any kind of debuffs from shrines and stuff, and Pot Smoke could be pretty nice there. And finally, if you want to run Bold Fighter on her, then you could go with that and Armor March, but honestly these two skills are just so dirt common on armor units that they're not really too unique compared to Slick Fighter and stuff like that. But nonetheless, if you want to have a mixed phase Mamori, then this is definitely an option. I honestly didn't expect a Tokyo Mirage Session Hall of Forms because all of these are Gen 4 5-star locked units. Itsuki would have been pretty nice for the people who have been building him up. So make sure to share this video with your other friends who are thinking of getting a Forma soul out of this Hall of Forms. And I want to thank all of my YouTube members for their constant support. And if you enjoyed, then please be sure to leave a like and a comment, helps me tremendously. And be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell, because YouTube sub boxes leave my videos behind just like Itsuki got left behind this time. So with that said, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.